Okay, guys, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky. Tonight we are going down under. Very excited to welcome Gary Lynn to the Freaky fam. How are you, brother? Thank you very much for being here, man.
Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm
Well,
good. I'm good.
good morning, I should say.
Yeah, it's quite strange for me. It's quite because this is quite an early one for me. I'm normally recording in the middle of the night UK time because I'm normally
Yeah, yeah,
talking to the US. But
yeah.
now it's morning and it's 8 o'clock your time, right? In the evening.
Just gone 8 o'clock. Yeah, on what is Wednesday night? Yeah.
Yeah, time zones are so weird, man. It's so weird. You're living in the future, brother.
Well, mate, if I had the lotto numbers for you, I'd let you know.
Yeah, yeah, please send them over. Send them over, man. So what part of Australia are you in?
I'm in the Gold Coast hinterland.
Hmm.
So the
Nice.
famous Gold Coast for all the bikini babes and the surfers and
Let's go.
all that nonsense. But I'm up in the mountains, away from all that crap.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool
Yeah,
though, man. Cool.
yeah, nice
Because
and peaceful.
yeah, because Australia like is it's quite populated on the outside, but then the further you go in, the less populated it gets, and there's a lot of open land, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, like you probably you might go like maybe 500-600 kilometers inland,
Hmm.
and you'll still come in small remote towns and that kind of thing. But yeah, probably you probably keep it maybe 200 meters inland.
Hmm.
Is where the mass of people will sort of get to.
Yeah. It's interesting because Australia's still like in a lot of ways quite young. I know it's
Yeah.
always been there, but the Australia that now, like the US, it's very young, man, and it's
Mm.
really cool to see that history and that growth.
Well, compared to you guys, yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
like as you know, I was born in the UK. So we moved over when I was four. But I mean, as the people of Australia were founded on your convicts. So it's and now we've become the country.
yeah, yeah. So what part of the UK were you from?
So I was born. My family in Aylesbury, up about an hour north of London. There, so I
Okay,
got my brothers. One brother Barry. He's
shout out Barry.
in Milton Keynes, and
Okay,
the other brother Darren's in Newport Pagnell. Then a few cousins and nephews scattered around the place, and then up into Scotland after that, around Moffat area.
hmm. Oh, awesome, man.
But
Awesome, man.
we moved here when I was four, so where are we? 38 years ago. So all I know is Australia.
Hmm.
Um, I'm completely Australian, and then we'll go back home to see brothers and family. And to me, I'm a complete tourist because I was raised up here. So
Hmm.
your side of the fence is all completely new to me for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get to Australia, man. I've never been. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Neighbours. Great show for anyone that don't think it's on anymore. Neighbours, actually, I think Neighbours has finished, right?
um, I have no idea.
Yeah, I
I
don't
have
blame
no
you.
idea.
I shouldn't have owned up to watching Neighbours, but there we go. Um,
Yeah, I think it was either a toss up between Home and Away and Neighbours.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
So actually, on Saturday, a good friend of mine, Dan Ewing,
Mhm.
he was one of the brothers or something like that on the Home and Away.
Oh wow,
So yeah, he's actually these days right into the Yowie subject as well.
interesting,
So
man.
he's gone from Home and Away to follow me through the forest, trying to get in
Well,
contact with big fellas.
well, he's definitely on a better path now. That's for sure.
Mate, I tell him that all the time.
No offense to our home and away fans. You know, it's a great
Oh,
show.
every
Yeah.
offense, Dan, every offense, Dan.
Uh, so tonight we're going to be getting into the Yowie, you know, and Yowie is called something different all around the world. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Woodwoe, you know, wherever you go in the world, there's a name for these creatures. Obviously, in Australia, it's Yowie. What do you use? Obviously, you use the word Yowie.
I use probably big fellas for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, because as we know, like in Australia, the word term Yowie is a collective term. Like in the US, the collective term is Bigfoot.
Hmm.
But as you know, as people here know, like there's different Aboriginal names around the place, Doolagal, Quinkin, that kind of stuff, depending on the area. But I mean, yeah, in general sense, Yowie. I still get people often confused with the word Yeti. And then we say, no, the Yeti's in Nepal. And then they look at you all confused, like, no, no, what? Huh? No, 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 that's in Nepal. Here they're called Yowie. But yeah, for the most part, Yowie. But as I said, I call them big fellas all the time.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So what got you into looking for these creatures? What was the start of your journey?
Oh mate, I mean, I've always been interested in the real side of life, as I call it. Ever since I was a kid, was watching X Files and this stuff when I was young, and ghost movies. I think it was the movie Communion. I think it was called. I It scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, but I couldn't stop watching it. And I'd get scared and I hide under the blankets, and then next a week later I'm watching it again, and my mother had the movie on VHS, and for some stupid reason I kept watching it. It's yeah, well, just all that kind of stuff. Ghosts, ETs, Bigfoot, uh, and just like as I got older, you sort of go through stages where you drop in and out of the subject and whatnot, and then as I sort of come through, probably my early 20s, I guess I started to get right back into it. Like I had a lot of experiences growing up, which what I thought was shadow people, which when I was about 36, I found out they weren't shadow people. Turns out they were actually ETs. But I've just basically always had this fascination, but it wasn't until like I probably 2016, I think it was, maybe 2015. Uh, a mate and I actually decided to actually do something about this, and we went out to a certain location on the Queensland New South Wales border, where it actually has Yowie crossing painted on the road. So we had no idea, zero clue, green as complete, probably less than novice for the most part, and we'd go for a drive out there and flashing torches around, because we knew that there was activity in the area, but we had no idea what was going on. And we went through a couple of times, and we got some things moving around, things that had pique our interests with certain noises and that kind of thing in the middle of the night. This particular area is just dense forest, and basically that dense forest with a road going through it. But you could basically say you're in the middle of the forest, because there's not much traffic there. There's no residential addresses. So we just sort of started going out there to see what happens. And it got to a point one night where we're standing in the area where it says Yowie Crossing, walking around with their white light torches flashing around the place. Of course, the big fellas aren't going to step out in white light. And things happened. We heard some movements, some vocals, and that kind of stuff, but nothing crazy. And then my mate goes, "I'm pretty sure I can hear something further down the road." So, oh yeah, okay. Well, let's jump in the car and go for a drive further down the road, and I see what happens. And this is one bit of advice I give to anyone who's keen to start on this journey themselves, be it ghosts, Yowie, whatever. Never stop the audio recorder. Which at the time I was using the audio recorder on my phone, which still did a decent job, but it was obviously not as high quality as a proper recorder. These days I use a proper recorder. But yeah, I use the audio recorder on my phone. We get down the road. Again, I've pressed pause on the audio recorder, and we get out of the car. And before I had a chance to hit unpause on the recording, we get screamed at from about 10 meters away. It went from a really, really deep, low down guttural roar to a really high pitched scream within seconds. And it was that loud, you could hear with the volume of it, the sound waves vibrate through your chest cavity. And we both just stood there in shock and like amazement. And then I went, "Oh crap, I didn't press unpause on the phone to record it." So I pulled it out, hit unpause, sat at the bonnet, and but I mean, that nostril turned out pretty good. With more vocals coming in from other directions, two other directions. So this particular being was on the south of us. We then had distant vocals from the north and the northwest making their way in. Every 20 minutes they vocalize, "Whoa, whoa," and every 20 minutes is closer and closer to the point where, and at the same time we could hear this this other one that screamed at us walking back and forth behind this big wall of lantana.
Hmm.
And for those that don't know, lantana is basically it's like a vine, like a bushy vine, but the vine parts are very rigid, spiky limbs. You can get through it. You will get scratched up, but you can get through it. So this being's on the other side of the wall, lantana going back and forth. We can hear the bipedal footsteps pacing back and forth while these other two are making their way in. And next thing you know, everything just went dead quiet. And I had my torch, I had it turned on, but I had the head of the torch on my chest. So the light of the torch wasn't emitting anywhere. And I didn't exactly know where my mate, well, I knew it was like a couple of meters away from me, but I couldn't see exactly where. And all of a sudden we both heard I heard actually, like 1,000 mosquitoes swarming your head. That's all you can hear, just encompassing your head, that buzzing mosquito noise. But there's no mosquitoes. I'm like, what's going on there? So I let the head of the torch off my chest a little bit to let a bit of ambient light come out. I saw my mate Wade standing over, so I walked over about 3-4 meters to him. I was just about to ask, like, can you hear that? And the look on his face gave me the answer. And then he just freaked out. We got to go, got to go, got to go. I didn't want to, but I mean, in between that, like without saying anything, it was like it was choreographed. We both spun around 180 degrees and hit our torches on this big wall of vine about 20 meters away. Again, as if it was choreographed, but we didn't do it. We just both instinctually turned at the exact same time, hit our torches on the big wall of vine. And next thing, we're in the car, we're gone. So that led on to more little night investigations here and there. And in the meantime, I've still got bumps and noises going on in the house and that kind of stuff. And it basically kicked off from there till I joined Australian Yowie Research. I think it was the start of 2018, and I was with Australian Yowie Research for about 5 years. I've since left and doing my own thing, but in the meantime, yeah, as you were saying, we had the big fellas on thermal twice, plus a bunch of very high chance probability situations where we're pretty sure it was in, but we can't say it was. And from there, mate, it basically kicked off to every situation you can think of. Apart, the only thing I haven't had is mind speak,
Hmm.
but I've had everything else you can think of,
Wow.
including like I've been meters from, I heard them vocalize, I've heard them push over trees and run away, and stick symbols, glyphs, everything you can think of. But in the meantime, yeah, I got into Stephen Greer's CE5 contact for a while as well. So I
Hmm.
was getting right into that. And that resulted in some awesome experiences as well, with giant orbs flying over the house and things shooting across the sky. And then in turn led into ET encounters in the house, and for myself, my wife, my daughter.
Oh, wow.
Um, but I guess, as a lot of people have said over the years, once you open the doorway up fully
Hmm.
to this sort of situation, everything else comes in.
Yeah.
Which on saying that, bring it on. I'll take as much as you can give me.
Yeah, when you look into the paranormal, it looks back. Like
Yeah,
I 100%
yeah.
believe that. I think once you start looking into it and once you're open to it, that's when
Mm.
it's going to hit you, man. And it can be quite
Oh,
scary. I know you're saying bring it.
oh,
Oh, I'll get very scared.
yeah, yeah. Oh man,
I'm-
I'm like I've opened the door. I haven't just opened the door. Like I've kicked the whole wall out.
yeah.
There's nothing there anymore. I'm I'm head first out
Wow,
at
man.
that big hole.
Well, I want to get into it all if you don't mind. You mentioned shadow
Yeah.
figures. You've said UFOs, Yowie. We'll go back to that night where you heard the. It seemed like they were communicating. Would you say the Yowies? You like were they communicating with each other?
I think so. So I reckon that first scream, raw, when we first got out of the car, I reckon that was them, or one of them. Obviously pissed off, and I think the other two heard it, and they've decided to come in. And every 20 minutes as they were coming in from a further distance, I think they were vocalizing to let this one here know how far away they were. And the reason I think that is because they knock on they do tree knocks, and they also whistle on that kind of thing as well. And they often do that to give reference to each other where they are. So if you and I are walking through the forest and we say 100, 150 meters apart. We're going in the same general direction, but we can't see each other because we're in the middle of the forest, and 150 meters parallel with each other.
Hmm.
I can whack a tree. You'll hear the tree, and you'll get an idea where I am. You'll do the same back, and I'll know roughly where you are, which I've done with team members in the past, and it works amazingly. As well as like a mate and I entered a certain area near the main thermal capture location where we have driven in this area, but this one we decided to walk in. We walked in, it was like late afternoon. As we get to a certain point, we'll hear a three-tone whistle. And I'm saying that 90% of the time when these guys whistle, it's always in three tones. So we've got to a certain point, we've had a three-tone whistle down below us in the valley and a return tree knock on a ridge line up above.
Hmm.
So again, that's why I believe that these two are vocalizing their location, their distance as they were coming in. And then next now we're in the middle of a triangle.
Yeah, interesting. It definitely seems like these things often surround whoever they're watching as well, and
Yes. Yeah. I think it also depends on the situation as well. I mean, like back then I was very much ignorant and dumb to the situation, going in there blindly, no idea. Then over the years, I've become more respectful, I guess you could say, more respectful and more in touch with the surroundings and what's going on. And then basically, I guess you could say that was pretty much the only. I don't know if you call that aggressive, because we don't. I think as humans, we, especially with a lot of encounters and sightings and whatnot, I think they get labeled as aggressive when they're not actually aggressive.
hmm.
Uh, it's a vocalization to them. It can be a very plain, basic, "Hi, how are you?" But to us, oh, you're like, oh, to us it's scary potentially.
Hmm. Hmm.
So on saying that, I think if you were to label that situation as aggressive, that'd be the most aggressive situation I've been in. So I
Hmm.
think over the years, once I start to learn, understand, connect, uh, the experience has got a lot more cruisy and friendly.
Yeah. It definitely feels like the more I learn about this subject, you know, it feels like these creatures are more of a spiritual. There's more of a spiritual side to these beings. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I do. So I believe they're flesh and blood. I
Hmm.
do believe that, but I 100% believe that they have extraordinary abilities. I'm saying that I mean energetic and spiritual abilities. And this is where, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. Two different things. Spirituality and religion are two separate things. I'm a spiritual person, and I believe these beings are very energetically connected, which
Hmm.
obviously links into the spiritual side of things. And on top of that, they're also masters of their domain as well.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, the amount of encounters where strange. I mean, I've had strange things happen that you can't put a label on because you don't know what the hell happened.
Hmm.
And on top of that, you've got witnesses that say like there's an encounter where a bow hunter was out doing his thing, and a Yowie dematerialized right in front of him. But the problem was to get back to his car, that he had to go exactly where that being dematerialized, and he walked straight into where this being was standing and dematerialized, and there was nothing there. But again, I guess this also comes back to the sound and sound. Can't speak of a sudden. Sight and sound spectrum,
Hmm.
where as human beings, we obviously are very shut off. That's how we've been programmed as we grow up through the school system and whatnot. Again, as you know, like kids see ghosts and stuff all the time because they're not programmed.
Hmm. Absolutely.
We've
And,
been,
and animals
yeah,
as well, like your pets, your dogs
exactly.
and cats. Yeah.
Oh, mate, tell me about it. Yeah. And as we grow up, we get deprogrammed, or other way around. Um, and I think we can unlock those abilities to an extent, if we choose to do so. And with the sight and sound spectrum, we are blind. We can't see anything.
Hmm.
We see a very small part of that sight and sound spectrum. And I believe that these beings can actually change their vibration. And even if they change by 1 degree, to our blind eyes, they disappear, but they are standing right there still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a situation. You know, if we can't see bugger all in our spectrum that we can see in, for all we know, there's two beings standing behind you right now, watching you interview me,
Hmm.
and I've got one sitting on the couch here, listening to me talk to you.
Hmm.
But we can't see them because we're so limited in our bubble, I guess.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, even science will say like there are things going on around us that we can't see that our eyes just can't pick up on. But there's
Mm.
definitely things going on around us, and we possibly get a glimpse every now and again. That might be what a shadow figure is, or if you see, like I've seen entities and stuff like that, 100%. And are you just getting a glimpse into something that's always there that you are just seeing for like a couple of seconds or whatever, you know?
I 100% believe that and agree with you. I think when we do have those glimpses, I believe that we are in a state of almost euphoria where our vibration is raised. And
Hmm.
when our vibration is raised, that allows us to see further than what we can normally see. I mean, like I did Reiki levels 1 and 2 a couple of years ago, and I didn't do it to become a Reiki healer. That wasn't my want or need. I did it to use that energy work to make contact with big fellas.
Hmm.
And with the level 1 attunement, now this is 100% legit.
Hmm.
Complete truth was when I speak this. Well, everything I say is truth. I don't bullshit.
Hmm.
I've no need to bullshit people. If people don't believe, that's their problem, not mine. I keep walking my path. So yeah, I did Reiki levels 1 and 2. When I did the level 1 attunement, so my place backs onto an army base. So off the back of my place up in the mountains, it's just all forests and mountains and valleys and whatnot. So when you see my Facebook, you'll see a big sunrise pic I put up this afternoon. That's just all mountains and valleys and that kind of stuff. But there is a massive army base off the back there, which has a lot of activity, and they know for a fact that the big fellas are on the base. I know that for a fact, and I know for a fact that they know the fact, the fact, the fact, the fact. And but after the level 1 attunement, next thing you know, so I've opened up my channels. I've created a beacon for myself, and I mean the beacon was already quite strong, especially with the UFO ET side of it. I created a beacon for myself, but with this Reiki attunement, the level 1 attunement, next you know, they're coming up out of the army land to our back fence, weaving sticks through our back fence. And look, we have mastiffs. Like at the moment, we have a Neo and an Ultimate Mastiff. They're a bit newer to the situation, but we had an English Mastiff before that. And every time the big fellas would come up, like you'd be sitting in the back patio looking at the stars. The dogs are laying there next to them. The dogs get up and they stare at a certain tree down the back, off the back fence, and start growling and watching, but they won't go down there. Then next thing you'll hear the big heavy footsteps and stuff down the back there. So that started happening after level 1 attunement. And with the level 1 attunement, you start a 21-day meditation that you do every single night as part of the attunement. And unfortunately, it was the only time I've been able to do it, which I guess is my fault. I need to put in the work. But with that level 1 attunement meditations, I think it was like the third or fourth night. No, sorry, yeah, the third night I got this big, heavy black vision of a face right in front of me, which I knew was one of the big fellas. But it was very hello, see you later, gone. Like 2 nights later, I connected in a way that again I need to sort myself out and get practice and practice. I saw how my Reiki teacher sees behind the veil. I then saw a whole troop of 8 or 9 of them, as clear as I can see you now, but they were snapshots. One, two, like for about 2 seconds per snapshot. I
Hmm.
went right through the whole troop. The second last one was a female with a conical head and a fringe like this, and the last one was a young toddler boy, big, round head, big black eyes, and he was looking up like that. And then I went to a location. I can still see the location now. Like it was a bit of a decline, a bit of an open area of space. A fallen tree slash log was laying there, and there was bushland behind it. And I'm just standing there in this vision, looking at this area, no idea where I am, what's going on. and this wave of energy comes over. Who are you? Who what the hell are you doing here? And I knew it was obviously must have been the alpha of the group because I've connected with his group um, without asking. I guess you say I didn't mean to. It's just how it happened.
Hmm.
And in doing so, yeah, that happened a few times, and it went away. And that was just after doing the level one attunements. And since then, I've done ayahuasca ceremony as well, again to in aid in making contact with the big fellas. Amazing ceremony. As long as you go there, as long as you enter the ceremony with Mama with the right intentions, which was a couple of guys there which didn't, and Mama kicked their ass, and they purged North Pole, South Pole the whole night.
Wow.
And yeah,
When you say mother, you mean Mother Nature, yeah?
no,
Just
no, no, ayahuasca.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. When you
Yeah, yeah.
when you say mama, do you mean the like the Mother Nature
I
kicked?
guess you say that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess you
okay,
say yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, just yeah, they generally call like with ayahuasca, they call the plant mama.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry,
Um,
man.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, no, no stress. But
That's
yeah,
a silly Englishman there.
but yeah, I mean, like that was that was an amazing journey and whatnot. And again, I did that to progress myself and also to try and make contact because I have for years I did the very basic general research, going out, boots on the ground, blood, sweat, and tears, or no tears for the most part, blood and
Hmm.
sweat, trekking ridge lines, trekking everywhere you can go. I mean, I still do that today. I'm
Hmm.
still very much boots on the ground today. Like I'm out by myself, and it's for the most part there's no trails. It's purely like I might walk a trail for half a kilometer, and it's like that way, and we just go through the forest, and I end up where I end up,
Hmm.
which a lot of time does yield results. A lot of time it doesn't. It's very hit and miss a lot of the time. But yeah, I basically decided to start chasing other avenues as well because it's a situation that unless you're, I guess, higher up government, I'm sure they know exactly what these beings are. Uh, but for me, I don't know exactly what they are. So I like to look at the situation from all sides of the box.
Hmm.
Because just looking at the side of the box that suits your narrative, that helps you for, and it doesn't even help you completely because you're very narrow-minded view of this situation, which then would of course go to ETs, to ghosts and UFOs, and I mean it encompasses all of that. Like
Hmm.
it has to be very broad spectrum until we know exactly what's going on.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been part of an encounter where one team when I was with AYR, one team member had a Yowie walking the valley just below him because two of us were at base camp. He's about 60, 70 meters up the track. He then radios through and says, I've got one walking down in the valley just below me. I can hear him. I can hear the bipedal footsteps. I can hear him pushing through the brush. And then I radio back, would you like me to come up and give you backup? He goes, no, I'm good. I'm just sitting here. He doesn't know I'm here. I'm just sitting here quietly, just listening. Cool, no worries. And next thing you know, we hear like a mechanical buzz vibration and like a flutter when have people have a stunt kite,
Hmm.
and when you hear those stunt kites beach dive, the wings make that flutter noise. So take that, cross that with a mechanical buzz. We look up through the open tree canopy, and this big blacked out V, the size of two F trucks, two F-250s or whatever, in the shape of about that size, creating a V. No lights, nothing, just this big blacked out V slowly hovers over top of us and keeps going in the southeast direction.
Wow.
So, I mean, and on top of that, there's been many reports around about here in the US of that same situation about Yowie slash Bigfoot and UFO
Hmm.
encounters at the
Hmm.
same time.
Yeah.
So again, we can't look at the side of the box that suits our own personal narrative. We have to
Hmm.
be, broad spectrum and take it all in.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what I don't really understand about the Bigfoot community as a whole, because as you'll know, you'll get the people that are flesh and blood, and that are, these things are, just natural creatures, and then you'll get people that are, this is a supernatural thing, and they're connected to aliens. I like to put myself somewhere in the middle because I
Mm.
don't know. I think there could be a mixture. I think there could be creatures that are flesh and blood and can't really do these supernatural things, and then there are others that are completely supernatural. That's just where I am at the moment. But
Yeah.
there's a big divide, and you get a lot of tension between these groups, and I don't really understand that because we're all just trying to learn. We all just want the answers, but you can't deny the fact that so many people that look into these creatures also connect that there are lights often seen like orbs and things like that, that they do seem to vanish.
Yeah,
Sometimes people are following tracks and they're just gone. And what is that? That does seem that there's a supernatural element to these things. So I don't know why, I don't understand why there's that divide sometimes. But it's like what you were saying, of people have got their own narrative and that they'll push for that narrative and they'll sort of dismiss other stuff that they hear, and I don't understand that because I feel like we're never going to learn if we have that
no,
mindset.
definitely not. I think for a certain percentage of it, you've got people who are trying to just wrap their heads around the fact that these beings exist.
Hmm.
So for them, that's a big enough situation as it is because they're trying to work out that. And then you've got the people that won't talk about it because they don't want to they don't want the ridicule from their family, friends, and neighbours. And then I think the biggest pushback comes from a religious spectrum. Um, I feel there's a lot of fear-based religious pushback on this situation as well. Um, and yeah, it's purely I don't understand the back and forth myself. It makes no sense. I mean, there's people in all sorts of camps that say no, it's definitely this, is definitely that, but no one really knows. That's why you've got to stay open to all sides of the box.
Absolutely.
Uh, until we know more about it. And as I said, there's definitely people out there that do know more about it. Um, and as I said, like especially with the army base off the back of our place, I've spoken to ex security that worked on the base, and one of them quit his job because he couldn't handle the constant encounters with these beings. Um, Ex personnel I've spoken to who they've told me, yes, they know for a fact that there's strange things on the base and they're told not to talk about it.
Hmm.
Um, there's also others that have said they're undefined, unclassified species, so they're told to shut up about it as well. Um, so I think there's such a broad range of spectrum, but yeah, there's way too much infighting going on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and on top of that, you've got people who go, "Oh no, yeah, I 100% UFOs. I believe UFOs and ETs are real." Oh, but Bigfoot, no, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And so there's just but but then they say that they're open to everything,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's a weird thing, mate. So for the most part, I've got my circle that I walk with for the most part. I don't branch outside of that circle too much, purely for the fact of I just couldn't be bothered dealing with the back and forth bullshit. I mean, I don't comment on much on Facebook
Hmm.
or Instagram, but I just couldn't be bothered dealing with it because it ends up being a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. There's
a
no point.
no, I mean a lot of it's the keyboard warrior stuff from people who have zero experience themselves, but they're trying to tell you because they've listened to a bunch of reports and they know everything about it. I mean, one that comes to mind is like, I mean, with the thermal location, that the Buckingham thermals, more times than not, we'd have some kind of action at that location. But then you get told by people who have never been to that location, "Oh no, that doesn't happen. That's not true."
Hmm.
But unfortunately, there's five of us that can back this up. That the activity in this area, particular, goes on. So it's those situations where you just got to let them just talk their talk and let them do their thing, and they'll sort themselves out, and you just keep walking your path.
Hmm. Yeah, man. So that when you had that spiritual meditation and you started seeing these beings, they come to you. Was you like in the yard then, and you were just sort of seeing them in the mind's eye, or was they physically in front of you as you were seeing them?
No, so on the couch in meditation,
Okay.
and it was a energetic mental connection.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, it, I couldn't tell you how long the whole thing lasted, but I mean, when I was done, mate, I feel like I was just sitting on the couch with my eyes closed. I didn't even feel like I was deep in meditation.
Hmm.
and I've done a lot of meditation, and it's meditation isn't the spooky woo woo hard thing that people think it is. It's meditation can be purely sitting by yourself for 10 minutes in peace and quiet, and uplifting yourself and telling yourself how good you are. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant kind of way.
Hmm.
I'm just saying I am happy, I am peaceful, I'm connected to my friends and family, and just saying that within your head for 10 minutes. That's meditation. It's nothing crazy special. But when I come out of this, I didn't even feel like I was in a meditation. It was pure like I was. And I think that's what plays in my head the most is that I was at that level of vibration to make that kind of connection, but I didn't feel like I was deep in the meditation.
Hmm.
I think that's what plays in my head too much because then obviously then you put too much pressure on yourself. I've got to do it again, got to, which is that's the complete opposite of what you need to do.
Hmm. Interesting, man. Do you think that was kind of like an astral projection in a way? Like you were going somewhere? Or,
I do, yeah, I do. I just have no idea how I did it. I was just doing the 21-day meditation,
yeah.
and next thing you know, hello, and
But I hear that so
um,
often. I hear that so often
oh,
when people try to do these things, they can't. It's like it has to be in kind of the subconscious in a way. And
mm.
it happens. There's a natural way of for it to happen, but if we overthink it, our human brains cut it out. It seems that's just I don't know that, but that's just how it seems from hearing people talk about it.
Oh, it sounds about right, mate. Like as I said, like it's like you put too much pressure on yourself,
Yes, yeah.
and that does the complete opposite of what you need to do.
Hmm.
Um, so as I said, I've got to put more time and effort in, and sort myself and get myself back on that track. I've been, just with general life and general everything else. It's hard. Then by the time the household settles down with the family upstairs in bed and the dogs are finally asleep, and by the time you do that, then you're too tired, and you haven't
Yeah,
fallen asleep in meditation. So
yeah. I know that feeling, brother.
yeah,
So you had this spiritual moment where you're seeing the Yowie. Have you ever seen a Yowie with the naked eye, like while
yes,
you're out? Oh wow!
yeah,
Can you share
yeah.
that with us?
So I've seen them twice on thermal, which is obviously nighttime. The first one was the first thermals which led to the Buckingham thermals. So basically, we're at a location just up the road from where we had that Yowie UFO experience, and the part of the team were over there, part of the team were over there, and I was up another situation on Springbrook Road. So I'm on the mountain Beachmont. The next mountain is Springbrook. So we're on the front side of Springbrook. The same situation where the road goes through the forest and up the mountain. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe a bit after 1 o'clock, and I had the thermal camera, and I heard what sounded like a bulldozer coming through the bush from across the road, like from the ridgeline up opposite. So I pull the thermal camera up, and there's this massive heat signature making its way down the down the hill toward me. But at that kind of distance, it was just a big blob. And previous to this, I'd had the footsteps, I'd had the vocalizations, the tree knocks, the structures, uh, the whistles, but I hadn't had the actual visual yet. And next thing you know, this blob splits into two, and a bit more definition came out when it split into two, and they were a bit closer. And I realized I was watching two Yowie doing their thing. And one went and sat on the left, so to their right, to my left, sat in the ferns up on the left there. And the other one went off to the right and just moving around, one hand on the embankment, grabbing like I guess plants to pull the bulbs out of the ground to get grubs and again the bulbs of the plants. So I'm watching this one. This one's off to the left. That one's then the one off to the right has his hand in the embankment, pulling out plants. I'm just watching this, and we're probably talking about 60, 70 meters away. So it wasn't too close, but close enough to watch on the thermal camera. And that went for about 14 minutes just watching them do their thing.
Wow.
And that then, I guess, as I said, that led on to the Buckingham thermals, which were we just want to go up that ridge line. We've walked that ridge line during the day, come across foot impressions, knuckle impressions, hand impressions, all that kind of stuff, and found this rarely used walking track. And then found a heap of stuff up there, footprints and that kind of stuff, which then led to the thermal location. But previous to that, the daytime sighting I've had would be went to check out a certain location on the other side of the army base here, actually, where there's a famous report of a truck driver, dump truck driver coming down the hill, and this big Yowie in the local community, he's called Big Red because he's about 9.5 foot, 10 foot tall, with like reddy auburn coloured hair, and he's come out of the army land and jumped in onto the road and landed like a Superman stomp on the ground, and then stood up while this bloke's locked up the brakes in the truck. And then this bloke said he had to look under the visor to see Big Red's head, and his palm punched the front of the truck and then walked off. So we're in that location picking up a trail cam, which these days don't use trail cams because they 99% of the time don't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way home from that, driving across one of the creek crossings, I've looked over the side, off the side of the rail, and if you can envision, if you're up on the roof or up on whatever like that, and you're looking down at someone on the ground, and they're bent over, picking up flowers or whatever, but to your vision, they're like a big rectangle with the ass cheeks up to the shoulders and the heads down.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bump for the head, but the shoulders and the ass cheeks, like a big rectangle. So I've looked over, I'm like, I've seen this massive light brown, hairy, that big rectangle, ass cheeks, shoulders, and a bump of the head. But I was sort of fresh to the AYR scene. I was like, nah, I'm just saying shit. Nah, it's all good. And I just didn't know
Wow.
about it. But there's no cows there. When it rains, this creek floods through there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no livestock down there or nothing. And I also know it's in an active location, but at the time, like, nah. Then after the fact, like, oh my God, I should have said pull up, stop, and just sprinted back down the road. And yeah, and
Wow.
then
So that was possibly Big Red, maybe.
I think it was someone else because
Okay.
it was more of a light brown hair, whereas Big Red's that auburn reddy kind of hair.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, going from reports from witnesses, especially the bloke in the truck, he's definitely more of a reddy color
Okay.
with his hair. and uh, and then after that, again the army base, um, at a certain location near the army base. It's obviously army land. We're on the correct side of the fence, and we went to check out a location where there used to be an entrance to a rock pool. So on people used to be able to walk down this track and get to this certain rock pool and swim. Then after a certain situation, the army took the chance and closed it off. So we're at that gate entrance with the thermal camera, just looking around, and next thing you know, I had this big slap, like you slap your hand on a pole, on a wall or something like that. I've heard that, and I've pulled the thermal camera up, and this huge heat signature, human heat signature, like as if I'm got the thermal on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Huge heat signature just standing there, and then quickly ducks beyond these massive gum trees and bush. And then I'm trying to like get down the fence line, trying to get a better angle, and basically went from like this the whole humanoid figure to like the tip of the shoulder. Because I guess that's he's trying to hide behind a tree and just the tip of his shoulders hanging out, and that was it. I mean, apart from that, mate, like it's been a bunch of. I'm pretty sure that was, but I can't say 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a bunch of those, day and night time, so thermal and with my own eyes as well, like a bunch of close, but I can't 100% say. Um, Otherwise, yeah, my daughter's had 2 daytime sightings, a little shit. So,
Wow.
so I'm a little bit jealous of that. But
What? Where was that?
yeah, on my mountain actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was so she's turning 8 next week actually, and when she was 3, so when you pick up from daycare and on the way home, it was because we live in the mountains. There's bush walks and that on the way through. So to tire her out a little bit more. So when we get home, I can sit there and do nothing a bit easier. So we'd stop at one of the bushwalks on the way up, and I just stroll along, and she's behind me doing what 3-year-olds do with rocks and sticks and talking to themselves and making sounds and that. And next thing she goes, "Where do you go? Where do you go?" I'm like, "Oh." I turn around and look at her. I said, "Where do you go?" I said, "Where do you go?" And she's looking into the valley, and she's like this. "Where do you go?" I said, "Where do you go?" "The monkey. Where do you go?" I'm like, "What?" And she's looking down there, and then about a month and a half later, it happened again in the same spot. And today I know that I've been in that area and there's activity in there. So I don't disagree that she saw anything. I mean, yeah, I
Wow,
know there's
yeah,
I know there's activity in this area, and she's 3 years old,
yeah.
and she's not old enough to know what daddy does,
Hmm.
like to actually consciously know what's going on. And then
Wow,
when we
man.
when she got to about 6 or 7, you'd ask her about it. She remembers, and she's like, "Yeah, you just step behind a tree." But
Yeah,
I think just at 3 years old, she couldn't comprehend it. It's just where'd the monkey go?
yeah.
And now she's like, "Yeah, yeah."
Wow, that's
um,
wild.
yeah, man. So I'm a little bit jealous of that because yeah, twice she's had 2 daytime sightings. I mean, yeah,
But it's
I've
like you
only
were
had
saying
the one.
earlier about the kids being open,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's definitely something to that. When we're kids, that's when we seem to have a lot of experiences. And I think
yeah,
once you when you if you accept that as a kid, that's normally why you go on to have experiences in your adult life because you're open to it.
yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
interesting, man. I won't go too much into my because I've talked about what I've experienced so many times on the podcast. This is your episode, man. But I've got a forest behind me, which has got a devil dog law there, like a dog man kind of law. And
Yeah,
it's very interesting because when I first moved here, I didn't know nothing about it. And my daughter was in the forest one night and she was 10 at the time. She just freaked out because she thought she saw a Bigfoot. And I was like, I kind of dismissed her at the time and said, no, you didn't. You're probably imagining things and a bit hypocritical, really, when what I do now and talking about this stuff. But at the time, I just didn't think too much of it, and I felt that maybe she'd watch one of my documentaries that she shouldn't have been watching, and she scared herself. It's getting dark. We're in the forest, and we can our senses heighten anyway. So that's just what I put it down to. But the more I do this show, man, and talk to people like yourself, I'm thinking, oh, maybe she has seen something there, man. I'd be a hypocrite to say otherwise.
oh no, I get it. I mean, like you obviously want to protect your offspring, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but I, mean, like, I guess with I don't know, like there's been ghost experiences with my family, with my brothers over there, with my mum and that they're here, and there's a lot of stories floating around. So for the exact reason you said, like I don't shy her away from any of it. I tell her exactly what's going on. If she's got a question, I'll answer it as best I can. I don't say that's scary, just leave it alone.
Hmm.
I'll tell her exactly what it is. I'll tell her about ghosts, the ETs and whatnot. I'll tell her the goods and I don't just say everything's all peaches and flowers. I'll say there is negatives in there as well, so you've got to be careful.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so I'm hoping that once she gets old enough, she's going to be next to Harry Potter doing her thing.
It
So
sounds like she's going to be following your footsteps. There's no there's
yeah,
no no doubt about that, brother.
yeah. Well, she's already asking to go bush with me. It's like, baby,
Yeah.
like where I go, it's not happening. Like I'm literally making my own way through the bush and the forest. I have an idea. Like luckily, my built-in compass is pretty good, but I still don't know if I've got to climb up a ridge line or
Hmm.
climb up some kind of creek or small cliff or go down that. I've no idea till I get there.
Hmm.
And then to carry an 8-year-old at the same time, that's not happening. So I
Nah.
was thinking, maybe when you're 15, 16, you
Yeah,
can
not yet. Yeah.
look after yourself a bit more. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Difficult question, but what do you think a Yowie is, in your opinion, right now? I know that could change, but what do you think these creatures are?
I believe they're a type of people. I believe they are flesh and blood. But I believe they are, as I said earlier, very energetically, spiritually connected and have abilities that the majority of the human race won't let themselves understand. Uh, and that comes from a lot of my personal experiences and what I've been through, what I've done. I mean, like, even when you look at like the American government, when they actually had a remote viewing operation many years ago. If there was nothing to it, why is the American government successfully doing a remote viewing operation, which is energy work? That's plain and simple, it's energy work. So I don't understand the big pushback on energy work and whatnot. And now you've got like when you go barefoot outside to connect with Mother Earth and ground yourself, and you know, and now it's proven that the ions and that kind of stuff, it doesn't take long for that energy through Mother Earth to connect to you. It doesn't take long for that to start happening. And now you've got people, science background people, saying yes, that's true, and you should also now buy this grounding sheet to put on your bed and connect it up with a wire through your house and into the yard. And but it's still apparently a bit of a woo woo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. Hopefully, in time we'll get there. That's why I just keep speaking my path, and people are either going to listen or they're not. And but even if someone doesn't believe,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't change my path. I'm still walking that path. So
Mm-hmm.
if Joe Bob down the road thinks I'm full of shit, that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Um,
man.
I think probably what bothers me the most, if anything, is probably those people that say you're full of shit, regardless if it's Yowie or Ghost or ET.
Mm-hmm.
The people say you're full of shit, but they say it with such conviction, like their word is gospel, even though they've got no
Mm-hmm.
base to give their opinion, and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to tell you, a person who has had experiences, who does know these situations, like yourself, has spoken to so many people who have had these situations, as well as having situations happen yourself. But they're saying with conviction that no, you're telling lies. That's all crap. And nine out of 10 times they've had no they haven't looked into the situation themselves. It's just purely a empty
Mm-hmm.
thought and idea they've got in their head.
Yeah.
I mean, like it makes me think about a situation where, yeah, because I've interviewed a lot of people as well. Not as many as Sarah, but I've interviewed a lot of people, and even just I've spoken to a lot of people in general. Especially, I mean, if I'm somewhere where I think there's going to be some activity, even with my work, if I go to a property where there's I know there's been activity or there's potential activity, I'll just ask my customer the question, and you'd be surprised how many times the customers, oh, well, now you mention it, and next
Yes.
next thing you know, you're off talking about this, whereas before that, they didn't give it a thought. But again, like it brings me back to a situation where I had a guy contact us, and his daughter had a Yowie sighting literally 2 hours earlier than his contact came through. So I said, "Yeah, here's my number." He called me, and the whole point of this conversation was to have a chat to his daughter and reassure his daughter that she's not crazy. Excuse me. So what happened was she was on the north end of the Sunshine Coast, which is about 2 hours north of here, and she's on a school trip, and the class had their push bikes, and they were at a national park, and they were riding their push bikes through the national park, and she got ahead of the group, and she had to pull up and wait about 10 minutes for everyone to catch up. Uh, and while she's there waiting, she heard a bit of a noise. She looked to her right, and probably about 20 meters away, she saw this monster, I guess you'd say. In her eyes, I think she was 9 years old, maybe 10, but we'll go 9. And so she saw this monster peeking out from behind a tree, who was like a chocolate brown color, and she saw everything except for the right arm, the body, the legs, the face. The left arm was pulling a branch down over his face, and then he lifted up to look at it, and he pulled back then over his face, and his eyes like I'm being all covert,
Mm-hmm.
even though the whole 8 foot of him staring. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, nothing happened. Nothing negative happened. He just basically stood there, looked at her, and then the noise of the class catching up. Then she looked back at him. And he's gone. So he's taken the opportunity for her to look back down the track at her class coming. He's gone, which is another common situation with these beings as well.
Hmm.
But again, the whole point of the phone call was for me to reassure her daughter, his daughter, sorry, that she's not crazy
Hmm.
and that she's not alone. And don't be scared, don't be fearful, don't let people say you're full of it. Because what she saw, thousands and thousands and thousands of people have seen these beings as well.
Hmm.
And that was the whole point of the phone call. And that's what her father wanted out of the phone call, was to reassure his daughter, because
Hmm.
obviously he was obviously a follower of what we do. So so she's come home, told dad's contact, and sent the contact through, and then obviously said, "Here's my number, call me." So likely dad was already on board, but he reassured her, but he just wanted someone outside of their family circle to tell her it's okay.
Hmm. That's why it's so good talking out about this stuff as well
Mm.
and putting it out there because so many people have these experiences, and sometimes there's not a lot of places you can go to talk to someone about it. The good thing now is there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube channels where people can get information, and you do meet people that way as well, which is really cool. That community is really cool and very mostly welcoming, I would say. So it's really good that we talk out about this kind of stuff. We've got to mention Sarah Bignell as well, Yowie Central, who
Oh
connected
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Awesome lady. She connected us, and obviously you're good friends with her as well.
Mm.
But yeah, man, it's
Oh
so
mate,
interesting.
Sarah's like obviously listened to your interview with Sarah. And yeah, she has some amazing interactions, but she's still kicking herself for that one sighting. And she always gets so close.
Yeah,
I mean, like the last time she was up here, she stayed at a friend's place down the road, and I took her to a location where I've had some good activity, footprints, logs jamming ground in the ground, and um, just in a general sense, some decent activity. And it's a really long trek from up the top of the ridgeline down into the valley, and then you got to come back. And obviously, coming back is a very long trek back up the hill. And for the most part, this is a man-made track, but it's not used too often. And we're halfway back up, and Sarah just yells out, "Come on, my dual girlfriends, come give me a piggyback up this hill." And 2 seconds later, I hear this big whip of a branch go. I've spun around. I've seen the branch do its thing after being moved. So I've sprinted over there, and I've heard something moving off down through the valley. I'll say something because I didn't see anything, but it was very, for the fact that she said, "Come on, my dual girlfriends," and then that happens.
yeah.
It was very much like, no, you walk yourself, Otherwise, yeah, mate, she's been very close to some situations. It's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, she just hasn't quite
Yeah.
had that situation.
Mhm.
I'd love to take her to some other locations up here, but she's in the process of moving closer because, as you know, she lives there in Victoria. So they are in the process of trying to sort things out to come up here closer. So when that happens,
Mhm.
it'll be much easier and much freer to take her to some active locations
Yeah.
that I know
Awesome,
about,
man.
where hopefully she can have that sighting.
Yeah.
Um, even a vocalization. I mean, some of the big vocalizations that I've had, I'd love that she'd hear that, even when they snap trees or like branches off trees, like it sounds like a shotgun going off in the
Hmm.
night. I'd love for her to hear some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But hopefully soon.
Yeah, man, for sure. So in the area that you're based in now, you said that there was a Yowie sign in that area where you first had those, vocalizations. Is your average person in that area, would they believe in Yowie, or what is the overall opinion, would you say, of the average man? Because in the UK, you talked about Bigfoot, and there are people that see Bigfoots in the UK as well. There's a lot of reports. I've talked to many people that have seen these creatures. But if you talk to the average person about Bigfoot, they'll go, "What? There's one in America, right?" You're like, "No, no, no."
There's always one.
Yeah, there's
It's
one in
just
America.
it's just
No.
one. Yeah, there's always one that has an insane amount of frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He's all over the place.
oh man, I've heard that so many times. Not I guess out of ignorance from these people that that obviously haven't given it the next to no thought.
Hmm.
And in their head, yeah, like last week he was seen here, next week he's seen 600 kilometers north. It's yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear that a fair bit. But I mean, for the area I live in, I know for a fact that a lot of people up here know about them.
Hmm.
It's just trying to get them to talk. I guess luckily, me being who I am, the contacts I have, and what I do with organising a particular night that gets all the people interested in the paranormal. I organise these nights where everyone can come together and talk. So people know me through that as well, and a lot of locals around here turn up to that event as well. Uh, but yeah, it's hard. Like a lot of them know about it, but a lot of them won't talk about it.
Hmm.
And I'm talking like people who go back with 30 years of knowing that these beings are there.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just trying to get them to talk about it. And then on top of that, you've got the problem with the particular area that I live in. So there's a massive dam down the bottom of the mountain which feeds the Gold Coast. So this particular area I live in, because it's the catchment area for the dam, the amount of infrastructure up here is capped. So if you want to move up here and if you find a house, great. If you don't like the house, you can do a knockdown rebuild, but there's next to no land available, nothing like that, because it's capped at a certain amount.
Hmm.
So it makes where I am kind of exclusive in a way. So when someone does sell up and move away, the houses up here sell very fast. And I have noticed over the last probably since the 2020 with the pandemic, where city people moving up here, um, who are still in their city mentality, and the original, or I should say, long-term occupiers of the mountain are moving away for whatever reason it may be. There's less of them. There's more city folk moving up here. So that knowing the area of what goes on up here
Hmm.
is becoming less and less.
Interesting.
I have noticed that, and when you do bring it up, you obviously cop criticism because they're city people who've lived in surface paradise. And then, I mean, actually, a good example is my next door neighbour. They moved from surface paradise, and they bought the property next to us. And again, goes off the back like they've got 11 acres. It goes off the back in the forest and just joins into army land. And I told them about it because again, I don't care what people think. I'll just talk about it. So I start talking about it, but you can see the cogs clicking back and forth. Like, yeah, listen to this clown. Well, he's full of shit. And so it was that, and like there's city people that literally moved from surface paradise up here. And one day I went down the back, and I actually said, because it's a certain part of this is property, so I did the right things to him. Mate, do you mind if I go on your land down the back? And he said, yep, go for it. They had no intention of going down there. And as far as I know, from this neighbour to the neighbour before, I'm the only one who's been right down the forest down there. So I know that no one's down there. And next thing you know, I'm coming back with a 17-inch footprint cast
Wow.
from
17
their, their
inch.
their place down the back. And this is after what I already know goes on down the back of our place, including the amount of times where you're sitting on the back patio watching the stars, and you'll hear tree knocks from the forest down the back. So next thing you know, I've come home with a 17-inch footprint cast. Now, fortunately, because I went down late, so I went down there during the day, found it, and went back later in the afternoon to go cast it. It was actually there was three prints: a left, right, left. The first left, and the right were castable. The next left wasn't castable. But the problem was in my high IQ, I didn't take a torch. And I'm going, crap, I now can't stay down here um, because I can't see my way out. And it's heavy, thick forest, and you've got to go through a cascade, a creek system, let alone whatever else you've got to go through down there. Um, so because I did that, I had to make the plaster batter thicker than what I normally would. So I guess you say overall detail, but I lost the detail out of the toes. Whereas the actual cast there was good toe impressions.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, I've then come up out of the forest, and the next day I've gone next door and knock knock knock, and thanks for yesterday. And by the way, here's a 17-inch footprint.
Wow.
And yeah, that very quickly converted them to a city folk from Surfers Paradise to oh okay,
Wow.
something else is going on.
Yeah, man.
Um, but as I said, man, like it's slowly the table's slowly turning with more city folk trying to get up here because, as I said, it's kind of an exclusive area.
Hmm.
But I mean, in a general sense, there are a lot of people because this mountain is quite long with ridge lines and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of people up here, and there is a lot of activity, and there is still a lot of people in the whole of this mountain range that do know what's going on,
Yeah.
and that includes UFOs as well.
Interesting, man. I mean, so many people see these creatures all around the world. I get a lot of people reaching out because of doing this show, telling me their experiences. Often they don't want to come on. Like I'll always say, like, come on, let's talk about it. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to share your name. I just want to hear your experiences. A lot of the time people don't want to do that. So it is hard to get people to talk out about this stuff, man. But it's yes, they're there, brother. 100%.
Oh, they are. I mean, like, that's like with my paranormal nights.
Hmm.
That's why I give people the option that same as yourself. Um, I'm obviously quite happy to speak in front of the camera. I've done it a lot, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
So in front of a large group of people, I'm comfortable to talk out loud in front of a group of people. But as you said, there are a lot of people that uh, are one scared to tell their story, and two that don't want to talk in front of a group of people. So that's why I'll give people the option where if they do have a story they want told, they can send me their story with an email, and I can read it out anonymously for these people.
Hmm.
Which then that's also those certain people they're stoked with it because they're still getting their story out. And a lot of the times, well, people have some experiences where they believe that they're the only one who's had this particular experience, and then they get up and tell a story, or I read it out, and next thing you know, someone's sitting up the back or someone over there, whatever,
Yes.
goes, "Oh, that happened to me too." And next thing you know, those two people connect, and those two people are no longer alone,
Hmm.
which obviously helps both of them out immensely because again, they're not alone. Uh, they're not going to get ridiculed. Their experience, they're going to swap situations with their stories, and it just
Hmm.
it's all positive and ups.
Yeah, man. That's
You
why it's
know,
so good
it's
to talk and share. Like share your
yeah,
experiences.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Man, you mentioned
yeah.
shadow people when you was a kid. Can we get into that? Because I wrote that down. I was like,
Mate,
I've got to talk about that.
I thought it was shadow people. I thought it was. And then as we got older, I mean, like, is a usual thing where something crossing the hallway or walking down the hallway, and you see the corner of your eye, and I go, oh, shadow people, yeah, cool, whatever. And then you'd wake up in the middle of the night, and there's a shadowy figure standing at the end of the bed. Oh, shadow people, yeah, cool. And then next thing you know, you get to about 35, 36, and you find out they're not shadow people, they're ETs. And when you find out they're ETs and you acknowledge that they're ETs, and then they decide to visit more and more to the point where they may as well start paying rent, you know. it's, and then, oh, mate, yeah, it's good fun. I love it. I love it. I mean,
Man, you're
I
braver
don't,
than me.
it fascinates the hell out of me. I
Yeah.
can't, as I said, there's no door, there's no wall. I've kicked that wall down.
Yeah.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll take it like, again, I do energetically, spiritually protect myself. I don't just go anyone and everyone,
Hmm.
come and knock on the door. I do invite positive beings only. But yeah, I'll take as many homeless positive ETs like you know, it's
Because
you know,
I've woken up to seeing like the shape of a man standing there, like
yeah,
darker than the dark shadow figure, and it's terrifying, man. Like I get very
yeah.
scared.
Oh
It's
no, it
happened a
does.
couple
Like,
of
yeah,
times in this house, and it happened when I was 21, and weird stuff like I've experienced stuff like that, waking up and seeing something there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
does that not
Oh
scare you?
no, I get it. Like at first sight, it gives you a jump. I'm
Hmm.
100% with you on that. But I think that's the same as if if you wake up in the night and I was standing at the end of your bed, that'd give you a jump.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
it's just a natural human response to jump and shit yourself.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it's pretty much like so the apart from like giant golden orbs the size of your car floating over the house and stuff like that happening.
Wow.
Um, Pretty much the first visual I had of an ET. So we had this massive salt lamp in the kitchen, and as people know with salt lamps, they don't get turned off; they stay on. And I'm watching a movie or whatever it was, and we had three English mastiffs at the time, and I've turned the TV off. There's no house lights on. I'm going to bed, and I've had to walk. So if you envision from where you're sitting, you walk on a 45-degree to your left into the kitchen, and then you do a 90-degree right hand turn to walk behind the wall that the TV's hung on. And when you do that, you walk through the kitchen and then you walk behind that wall. And then you do another 180 and you go up the stairs to bedrooms upstairs. And as I've turned to go up the stairs, in a window on the back of the house, because the steps to go upstairs, the individual steps, it's not a solid staircase. Through the reflection of in the window on the back of the house, I've seen this little figure. I'm like, what? So then I've stuck my head back in that small hallway to look into the kitchen, and backlit by the salt lamp is your usual ET um, sh- figure shape, backlit by the salt lamp. So I couldn't see any detail, just this black silhouette. And this is where I've said this many times. This is where I kick myself. I've kicked myself in the nuts pretty hard about it. Instead of saying hello, how are you today? I've gone okay, and I walked up the stairs and went to bed. Why did you do that, you pussy?
Was that out of fear or was that like,
No, no, I wasn't scared at all. I was not scared at all. That's just what I did, and I just went up the stairs and went to bed. And
man?
and then a few months later, I woke up at about between 4 and 4:30 a.m. Just suddenly woke up and sat up in bed, looked to the doorway, and there is a uh, when the predator goes into that shimmer camo mode.
Hmm. Yeah.
Picture that, but on an ET. Um,
Whoa. What, like the shape of
I've
like a grey, say?
Yeah,
Like that
exactly.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
shape.
exactly. So even with the salt lamp one, that just picture of grey. Yeah, sorry, I should have said that before. Picture of the shape of your typical grey,
Hmm.
going about 5 foot tall. And then yeah, upstairs, I woke up, sat up, looked at the doorway, 4:30 in the morning, and seen that predator shimmer, but a grey, the shape of a grey. And I saw everything except for the left leg, and the left arm because it was peeping around the doorway.
Hmm.
And as we said before, that sudden someone standing there, oh, just because someone's standing there, as it could have been you, and I would have still jumped. I've jumped, and then I've looked back, they're gone. Uh, and then I've had that plus a lot of times that things go bump in the night, where with those stairs, they're metal stairs, and when you step on certain points, they creak. And the wife and I have been in bed quietly talking, and the daughter's asleep in bed. The dogs are asleep in their beds upstairs, and we are having a general conversation, not about anything particular, and you hear those rant, rant up the steps, and like, oh, we got visitors again, and I get out of bed, and I go stand outside the bedroom, go, evening, look, I don't mind you being here. Do what you got to do, but let the daughter sleep. If you don't let the daughter sleep, then we're going to have problems. And they go back to bed. And I've done that countless times. Just, again, I'm not scared of it. I just do what you got to do because obviously they're here to do whatever they've got to do. Like I've got, I'll send you a photo of these dots on my leg,
Hmm.
which are just a little bit too strange. I mean, I don't believe in coincidence,
Hmm.
but
Same.
these sunspots on my leg, they just don't seem right. But I'll send you a photo. But I've been like laying in bed. You know, when you're laying in bed, like one arm's hanging out of the bed. I've been half dragged out of bed. Um, and then when I've like clenched and like caught that drag, then it stopped.
Hmm.
That kind of things happen. And then my wife, she's woken up during the night as well, and sat up in bed and looked over to me and seen that black silhouette again. I'm asleep, and the silhouette is standing over the top of me. And when she had that sighting, she said that she took a breath and composed herself to sort of to focus, and I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing. And she goes, "Yep, I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing." And then she went back to sleep. And I said, "So what do you mean you went back?" She's, "Oh, I just laid down and went back to sleep." I said, "It wouldn't surprise me if you obviously weren't meant to wake up
Hmm.
and catch them doing whatever they're doing to me,
Yeah.
and so you got put back to sleep. You didn't just comfortably go back," which I guess is the same situation when I had the sighting with when I stupidly didn't say hello and just walked upstairs. That could have been a similar situation where
Yeah.
they've done something and they
Like
go
a
to
kind
bed.
of mind control, like a mind control
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. It could have been
Yeah.
the same situation.
Which you hear
Um,
quite a
um,
lot. You hear quite a lot in these situations, like where
yes,
people will see
yeah,
something and then go to sleep. Like they'll see
yeah,
something wild, like to your average person that maybe not have experienced that. You tell them that, they would say, "How would you just go to sleep?" But you
mm,
hear that quite a lot where people will see something terrifying, quite scary for the
yeah,
average person, and then just turn around and go to sleep. It's very strange, man. Is it
yeah.
like a mind control thing where these things are putting people back to sleep?
It wouldn't surprise me, mate. I mean, it's the amount of odd experiences we've had just with the ET situation in this house. I mean, my daughter wouldn't sleep in her bedroom for 3 months because of the lizard man. And as we all know, the lizard man's a reptilian. Um, I don't know too much about the reptilians other than the general knowledge, and that there's goods and there's bads. I haven't looked into them too much. But yeah, like she wouldn't sleep in a bedroom, and like it was proper fear that she wouldn't go in the bedroom, and I'd go in there, and so I've had ceremonial tattooing done on my back, which is done through a very good friend of mine, Shane Cully. He's an intuitive tattooist, so he can do your general tattooing, but he focuses more on intuitive tattooing, shamanistic tattooing, heritage, lineage, bloodline kind of tattooing. Um, that's his niche, and he's traveled the world doing this stuff. And so when he tattoos, it's done within ceremony. It's not just a general like you do go into the shop. Hi, how are you? What do you want? You're right, sit down, off we go. His tattooing is done again within ceremony with a he's from New Zealand, so he uses a specific Maori prayers, and then smudging and saging and whatnot, and then the tattooing begins. Because as he says, tattooing, you're imprinting energy onto the body. It's not just a tattoo. So in his eyes, you need to be very careful what you get tattooed because you're imprinting that energy onto the body. So again, I've had ceremonial tattooing done on my back, and since then, when I get the goosebumps, I don't get them on my arms anymore. My back gets goosebumps since I've had that tattooing,
Interesting.
and every time the daughter will go, no, no, I'm not going in the bedroom. I go in there, and my back would light up, and you could
Whoa.
you could just feel there's someone in the energy of another. There's something in there, which I've had many times in the house. I've had it in the forest doing the research and whatnot. I've had it where like and the last one I had was laying in bed. The daughter slept in our bed because the wife was away in hospital, actually, sorry. And I was sleeping in my wife's spot and daughter was in my spot. Luckily, a king bed because she sleeps like a starfish. And I'm on my wife's spot and I got my back to the doorway. And I just had that sense of someone's walking into the bedroom and my back just lit up. And I could, not in a negative way, I could just feel whoever was there, the immense energy that they carried with their self. My back was just lit up with goosebumps. Again, not negative. It's just a very immense energy. Um, and once I acknowledge, it's got up the back, up my back just
Is,
then.
is it happen now? Oh man.
Oh, just
Wow.
someone's listening.
Yeah, man.
Um, and yeah, and then once I acknowledged that they're there, it just slowly dissipated and went away. And again, like yeah, I guess see, just talking now, I completely forgotten the question of
I can't
what.
remember where we were going.
we're just going.
We're just gliding, brother.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
so is there a build up of activity in your house, or is it go through stages? Is there like stages where a lot of stuff happens and it goes quiet and stuff happens, or is it
That is a very good question. Very good question. Uh, so yeah, it would build up. You'd feel the energy in the house slowly get thicker and thicker, and you'd know, right, something's going to happen within the next week. Next, something's going bump in the night, something's moving. The dogs are getting their hackles up for no reason. There's nothing there. Things would happen. But I mean, I got taught by a friend a long time ago. So a mate of mine, Jim Mount, he's a contactee in Canada. He told me, if with these beings, well, any ET beings, you have to be very firm in your wants and your desires. So if you don't want them in the house, you need to be very direct and tell them to piss off. Now's not the time. If you allow any little gap where maybe not tonight, maybe, then that's not a definite answer. It's very not tonight, go away. So after Jim saying that, when I'd had like a bad day at work or whatever, and I'd be down here watching TV and you'd stand up to go get a drink, and it was almost like you're walking through a sludge. The energy in the house was that thick. And I'm right, guys, not tonight. Just leave me the F alone tonight, please. I'm just not in the mood. Because see,
Mhm.
when they turn up, I get next to no sleep. It's a super restless night, and that's when I know they've been around because I sleep very heavy. My dreams are very lucid. Um, I have great dreams and great sleep, but when they're around, my sleep is just crap.
Mhm.
And unless I can ascertain it too, I've been bus master at the gym, so I've got leg cramps or chest cramps or whatever. Unless there's something I can assign that it's actually this. Any other time it happens, I know it's because they've been around, they've been waking me up, pulling my arm or something like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, go to the point where, guys, not tonight. No, you're not doing it tonight. Um, over the night, the energy just drop, and for the next 2 weeks, it's just clear, thin energy. It's sweet, and then a couple of weeks later, you start to feel things start to build up again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and on top of that, I was also doing the CE5 contact as well. But so getting great results from that, and that obviously creates a beacon for yourself as well. So that as well can induce some unwanted bad sleeps as well
Mhm. Mhm.
if you're not careful as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah. To answer your question, mate, yeah, you can definitely feel the energy shift in the house,
Mhm.
and things change.
Interesting, man. And the CE5, for people that are not aware of that, that's like where you go into the yard basically and you ask to see uh
Yes,
these beings.
yeah. So it's CE5 is it's human initiated contact.
Hmm.
So it's basically a type of meditation you do, a visual meditation. So you go through the guided meditation. And I know there's a lot of people out there that's, it's all crap. I guarantee you CE5 is not crap. If you put in the effort, it is not crap. It 100% works. Basically, it's visual meditation. So you go through the guided meditation, visualize where you are, zooming out, visualize your house, your neighborhood. You keep zooming out. No, this is part of it anyway. And then you're creating a beacon for yourself. And then when you come back, you're visualizing, zooming in yourself. And you do that with repetition. And if you've got the right intent and the right forethought in actually putting that energy into it, you end up having sightings without even doing the meditation. You just go outside at night and things are zapping around and flashing in the sky. And like even the point where if you heard of flash bulbs, so flash bulbs in the sky where, like, if someone's like 100 meters away from that, they flash a torch. That's basically what a flash bulb is. But we're talking about up in the stars.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a flash bulb. So you walk outside, you look up, and you'll get a flash bulb. And I even had an instance where walk at the front with my mother. My mother come down. She lives about 2 hours away. She come down for the weekend, and we're in the front yard looking at the stars because obviously being in the mountains, we have a great view of the stars. And I've looked up, bang, flash bulb. And I literally said, hey, I said to Mum, like, did you see that? She's no, she's looking somewhere else. And I looked up and I said, Mum missed it. Can you please do it again? Mum looks up, bang, bang, 2 flash bulbs. It
Well,
literally got to
no.
that point where you could ask for it to happen. Or
Wow.
like you walk outside and one day you get a flash bulb as a hello. And again, like the amount of times where I've asked for it and it's happened, or like that, like flyovers have happened, or I've been in group meditations, or just with mates who are interested as well, and that's happened. And it's really induced some amazing situations to the point, yeah, as I said, like where they just turn up and show themselves without you even doing meditation. I mean, there's a situation where I had to go 3.5, 4 hours west for a job, and a mate of mine wasn't working at the time. And they said, you want to come for a drive for the day? Give you something of this? Yeah, no worries. So we're right out west, did this job, and we're driving home at about, I think it was about 7:30. We're still about 3 hours, almost 3 hours away. About 7:30, it was a full moon. And, with those long trips where it doesn't matter if it's your mate or your wife or whatever, you drop in and out of conversation just because it's
Mm-hmm.
such a long trip. So we were in a point where we were not in conversation at this particular time. Just sitting on cruise control, listening to music, and I'm looking out to my right, which was looking south, and I saw these red quick flashes. Oh, what was that? Anyway, I didn't worry about it. A couple minutes later, you see it again. And I said to my mate, Reed, did you see that? He said, no, I didn't see it. So now he's looking. Also, yes, he then sees a red flash. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's like out west, they have these massive high antennas. They have a red light on top of them and they flash every now and again. But this wasn't like every 3 second flash. This was very erratic. So it wasn't one of them. It wasn't the moon because it was a full moon. The moon's your white, yellow color. These are red and red flashes. So now Reed's looking across my lap, looking out the window. I said, oh, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that one. And my mind's gone straight to the CE5 crop circle tones. So these are particular tones that they recorded within a crop circle. They were a frequency that they recorded, which they turned into tones. So I've gone straight to the stereo, start playing this crop circle tones, mentally putting out this intent. Reed's leaning across, looking out the window. And there's no cars around, so I've slowed the van down about 70 kilometers an hour, put it on cruise control, so I don't have to worry about speed. And it's straight roads for kilometers and kilometers, so a bit of a wiggle, and that's about it. And I'm putting out this mental invitation, and again, Reed's looking across. Next thing you know, boom, 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 these 3 huge orbs light up red with like a white outer ridge. And I'm talking, so if you are looking at, yeah, if I tell the story to an Australian, they know exactly what I'm talking about. If I went, when you look at this particular thing, it's just picture that, but bigger. But
Mm-hmm.
so easiest way, when a full moon first comes up, it's a massive big full moon. Just
Mm-hmm.
we'll just go with that. So take that. go a tiny bit smaller. Three of them light up in a slight angle like that.
Hmm.
So one, two, three. Big red orbs with white flashing edges, and they boop, 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 they pulsed back and forth, and then one by one they dematerialized and zapped out.
Wow.
And I said thank you, and we just kept cruising. And because I've had a lot of experiences, like it was amazing. I don't get that, but yeah, that was awesome. But the highlight for me was my mate Reed. He is open to it, but he's not into it.
Hmm.
He doesn't watch docos. He doesn't watch. He's not part of any Facebook groups or doesn't follow Instagram pages about UFOs and nothing. He witnessed it. That was my favorite part. He witnessed that for someone who's not into it.
Hmm.
And then we still got like 3 hours or whatever it was to drive home. The whole way back to the Gold Coast, he's just out the window, just trying,
That's awesome.
waiting for something else.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah,
changed
so
his
it
life,
was.
man.
Oh, it did. And then from there, that went on to my daughter's third birthday, where we were across the road in the park and jumping castle, that kind of stuff. We come back to the front yard around the fire pit, and there's 11 of us standing around the fire pit. And I guess I was at a point where I'm just staring at the fire, I'm not talking, and other people are talking and whatnot. And I'm just looking at the stars. I've looked up and this huge, excuse me, as I said earlier, this golden orb the size of a car at about 100 feet high off the ground comes over top. And I'm looking at this thing and I start whacking my mate in the shoulder. And yeah, because everyone's on the piss. So yeah, no one's drunk. I will say this: no one's drunk, but everyone's in that mode of where
Tipsy.
we're at the most,
Yeah.
everyone's just in a state of we're just mingling and yeah, no, I'm just starting to get into having a good time.
Hmm.
I'm whacking my mate in the shoulder because I'm just staring at this giant orb over top of the house. And he's like, what do you want? And then sees me looking up. He looks up, and then he looks up, and she looks up, and he looks up. 11 people saw this massive orb come over top of us. My mate beside me saw me pull out my phone, hit record on the video, and record it till it went out of sight. And we've come back to watch the video together. Not there,
Wow.
not there. But he watched me hit record, and I'm standing beside him filming this giant
Wow. So
orb.
what did the video get? Just the sky.
Nothing there. No video.
Wow. No
No
video.
video. No video.
Oh.
And I've had the same situation where a location where there's high Yowie activity. I had $1,000 sat nav. So you obviously use a sat nav for elevation when you're going through the bridges and forests and that to find out how far it is to your next point. I've had that and my phone, and I know this area I still have phone reception. I'm using the sat nav and the phone, and the sat nav started wigging out. It couldn't pick up where I was, and it wasn't doing anything.
Hmm.
I then pulled my phone out to record like I was making a little video to say, the sat nav's wigging out. I'm in an area that has high activity. I'm by myself. It was a 1 minute, like a 1 minute 40 video that I recorded. Same thing. I will look at myself, start record, stop record, and then the phone started playing up. And because the sat nav is playing up, and then I'm then trying to use the maps on my phone to get a just like zoom out to get a north, south, east, west to where I was. It started winging out, and then I've gone back to the video, and it recorded 7 seconds. Even though the whole time that I'm doing it, I can see the counter
Yeah.
clocking the whole minute 40. Only 7 seconds of
Strange.
that video recorded. And as soon as I left that area, then the sat nav started working again, the phone started working again. So, I mean, that
Wow.
situation isn't an isolated situation.
Hmm. Hmm. You hear that very
Um,
often with technology going wrong in these situations.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been locations with the thermal cameras and the night vision cameras and audio recorders, and the batteries have been brand new. And they're meant to record for hours. Like the audio recorder is meant to record for, say 13 hours. and it's stopped recording after half an hour, and the
Yeah.
battery's
You
dead.
hear that so often, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
that light that you saw fly over your friends and your house, did it make a noise? Was it making a noise as it was going?
Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely, just like that massive black V the size of two F trucks.
Hmm.
Um, for something like that, you'd expect a big loud noise, but no, this is just a humming vibration over top. Um, yeah, just I mean, I've been in other places in the forest as well where I've heard weird metallic sounds as well.
Hmm.
Where I know for a fact there's nothing metal in there because I've spent time in these areas and weird mechanical sounds and whatnot. Um, where a metal pipe gets hit, but there's no metal pipes. Like
Interesting.
it's just yeah, there's so much weird stuff going on out
Yeah,
there.
man. Because sometimes people
Um,
say the metallic sound in the forest, because a lot of people report that where there should be no sound like that. And some people say that's possibly a portal opening. You hear that
I've
every
heard
now and
that too.
again.
I have heard that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but I've got no answer for it. I
yeah.
just know that where these sounds come from, there's no metal, and I'm the only one in there. You know,
Interesting,
it's
man.
I've got no answer for that. It's just another something another story to tell basically.
Hmm. Hmm.
That I can't put down as any particular situation.
Hmm. It's just
Um,
strange.
yeah, yeah, and then
Man.
another marble in the
Yeah.
in the black box, you know.
Another rabbit hole to go down. Yeah.
Oh no,
There's so
yeah,
many.
and probably another burrow down the hole that I'm already.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, difficult question again, but those entities in your home, like you've
Yeah.
obviously you've seen them as a kid, you've grown up with them, and they've been a part of your life. What do you think the reason is for that? Why do you think they're watching you, or what do you think they're doing?
That is a difficult question.
Mhm.
Purely for the fact I don't have a real answer for it. I mean, I've had ETs come in within meditation. I've had them come in within the dream state, lucid dream state, where I've been tested within dreams. Um, I don't know. I seriously don't know.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I've done a lot of searching here and there, and it's kind of like unless one of them can stop in for a coffee and actually have a chat about it, um, and say look, your livestock number 726942. Um, I've got no answer for it. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess I just take it because I just love it. Yes.
And you
Yeah,
go with your gut as well. You listen to your gut if it feels
heavily,
okay. Yeah.
heavily. Yeah, I listen to my intuition
Hmm.
as much as possible. Something that everyone should really do. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every single person has had a paranormal experience, whether they realize it or not. Whether something goes bump in the night, something brushes past their shoulder, or something that they feel a poke in their guts. Um, every single person has had a paranormal experience, whether they
Hmm.
realize it or not.
Absolutely.
And my intuition has definitely helped guide me through a lot of these experiences. Luckily, 90% are positive, unlike the negative of trying to get pulled out of bed and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely, my intuition plays a massive part in everything I do.
Hmm.
Um, we every single day is I'll try my hardest to listen to intuition. Obviously, this day and age it's very hard, just because there's so many distractions to take you away from listening to your inner self.
Hmm.
Uh, but as best you can, even the simple stuff. Um, Something people might resonate with is which they may not have thought about. They may do now after hearing this. My daughter at a certain suburb, my daughter's doing dancing, and where I parked, I could not like this suburb is beside the motorway, and where I parked, I couldn't see the motorway from where I parked, and my vehicle needed some fuel. So I always put BP in this ute because so basically when I get a vehicle, I always put a full tank of every brand in because I'll get more K's out of certain brands. Like my old band was a Fiat Ducato, and it's being a European brand. Obviously, over your way, there's a lot of Shell everywhere.
Hmm.
So I assume that they built these particular vehicles on Shell fuel with their testing and whatnot. So I know this is a tangent, but with that particular van, I get, say for example, 1,000 kilometers. If I put BP in that particular van, I get 600. So even if I had to only put $10 fuel in to get me to that Shell, I'd do that.
Hmm.
Um, so we've come out of dancing, jumped in the ute. I need to get some fuel. I want to go to BP because this ute gets good K's out of the BP. The next BP I know is about 5-6K on the motorway. And my intuition, no, just go the servo around the corner here. And, no, I've got to put BP in the ute. No, just go the servo around the corner. What's right, eh? Like, so that little voice is saying, just go to the servo around the corner. Whatever. So anyway, to get to the motorway entrance, I had to go toward this little servo around the corner. So I've come around the corner, and then I could see the motorway, bumper to bumper, going nowhere, going north to where I had to go on the motorway to get to that service station. So point being, that little voice in your head,
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, listen to it. I often say it's that first split-second thought, and then after that, imagination takes over.
Hmm.
So try your best to look to listen to that split-second thought, and a lot of the time you'll come out on top because that's your higher self. Go to this survey or go sit your ass in that traffic for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, I listen to my intuition a lot,
Hmm.
as much as I can, purely because it's saved my ass a lot too. Being out in the forest, it's also helped with interactions and whatnot with the Yowie research as well, where I've listened to my gut, listened to my intuition, and I've left the team members over here. I've gone over here because something's telling me to go over there. I'll go over there next time, finding foot impressions, and those foot impressions will lead me in more stuff. And then the guys on the radio are going, okay, where are we setting up base camp for the night? We're going to go up this ridge line. Well, aren't we going to go over here? So, no, we need to go up this ridge line. Okay, so then we go up this ridge line. Next, there's another thermal capture.
Yeah.
So it's just listening to intuition, and that situation has happened many times.
Hmm.
Um, I know for a lot of people, this I guess listening to your intuition is can kind of also be hard to wrap your head around as well. But it's as simple as that. Just listen to that little tiny voice that pops up
Yeah.
first before the main egotistical imagination pops in and tells you what to do.
It's interesting. It
Um,
makes a lot of sense. It's like what we was
yeah,
going back to earlier. We was talking about being conditioned, and we're told that
yeah,
the supernatural around us is not real and stuff. And we're sort of taught that as
yeah,
kids, and
yeah.
that's why a lot of people lose it. But you think when you think of a friend, say for example, and they call you, stuff like that, that is paranormal, really. When you're sitting on a bus and you can feel someone watching you and you turn around and there's a dude sitting there watching you and you're like,
Mm,
that's paranormal, that feeling that
exactly,
you get. So
exactly.
we've got these natural abilities built into us that we know we have. They say
Mm.
we only use a certain amount of our brain. Is it possible that if we were using more, we could do crazy things like fly? Who knows? But
That'd be handy, eh?
that would
Yeah,
be cool.
yeah, you're exactly right, man. I mean, it's like, as you said about your friend calling, that's an energetic connection,
Yeah.
and that's your higher self noticing those energy waves, those energy signals are coming through,
Hmm.
and you just happen to grab that frequency just before it comes in. Next thing you know, you
Yeah.
make calls.
That happens so
Um,
often. It happens
it
so
does,
often.
it's again, there's no such, again, to me, and as you said, no such thing as coincidence.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
Once you open yourself up to all of this kind of thing, everything, as you said, more of it makes sense. You start to understand what's going on in your life more.
Hmm.
And you also remember, like, people have to remember that words have power and intent.
Absolutely.
So if you're having a bad day and you've done something silly, it happens. But the more you abuse yourself internally about you're a dickhead, you've done this, or you stupid, see you next Tuesday, you're you're bringing yourself down.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Hmm.
I still do it. I still call myself a dickhead a lot,
Hmm.
but I also notice, okay, that's not the right state of mind I need to be in to move forward from this situation.
Hmm.
Take a breath in the nose, out the mouth. Let's go again. Um, because everything's energy, everything's flow, and it's all
Absolutely.
about keeping ourselves in a high vibration, regardless if it's sitting at home reading a book or going to sleep. Um, it's pure. It's I guess it's purely a form of self care, really.
Hmm.
To give a shit about yourself. Um,
Absolutely.
I think these days so many people go around just we got to do this, we got to do that. We have to make sure this is done, that's going to be done. Got to get the kids up for this, da, 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 da. Which that's obviously part of life, but it's very easy to forget to look after ourselves because at the end of the day, if we aren't healthy mentally and physically, we
Hmm.
can't help we can't help anyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because all we're doing is passing the buck, and at the end of the day, we're still low vibrational, feeling like crap. So we have to look after ourselves in turn to help other people.
100%, man. It's important. It's an important message. I'm a big believer in energy, and your energy is so important. And you do get days, obviously, where you're having a bad day at work and you're feeling like crap. Everyone's going to have that, and you're going to have that. Whether you're the most positive person in the world, you're going to have bad days as well. But it's about trying to lift your vibration and knowing that I'm
Yeah,
having a bad day, but I'm going to try and raise that vibration. I'm going to smile, even though I don't fully feel
exactly.
like it sometimes. And we all have days like that, man. So it is
Mm,
important to, yeah, I'm a big believer
yeah,
in energy. Because
and
you look when you've got the
yeah,
flu or something, like you get times where you're sick for a few days and you think, oh, just wish I just felt better. Like how I
mm,
felt last week when I was having a bad day at work. I was having a
yeah,
bad day, but
yeah,
I felt great. I felt healthy, and
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
moments like that.
It is, mate. And karma is real too.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Karma is 100% real. And I'm one of those people that, um, being a life path number 8, which is basically the infinity symbol, karma comes back to me super fast. So I'm also very vigilant of my words and actions,
Hmm.
um, most of the time.
We can all
Most of the
slip.
times.
We all slip, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's but yeah, it's you'd be surprised. I'm not you. I'm just people in general would be surprised how doing something good for someone else can come back at you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Um, and end of the day, like so someone could be having an absolutely terrible day, and I guess you just got to try to help them along the process really.
Hmm. Hmm.
Obviously, it's very easy to snap back at them. Um, but I mean, yeah, because I'm very much the person that I will give back what you give to me. So if I have a person snapping at me, I'm very quick to snap back at them. But in hindsight, we obviously got no idea what people are going through as well,
Hmm.
um, with whatever the situation may be, with their personal life as well, or the kind of day they're having. So it's sometimes little bit of hindsight to just take a step back and let them vent and do their thing, and in your head, you can curse them back.
Yeah.
Um, but just on a physical front, oh
Hmm.
yeah, no worries, mate, no worries, you whatever, mate, keep walking.
Yeah. That's the best way to
Yes,
be. 100%,
yeah,
man.
most of the
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Nobody's perfect.
time.
Gary, I've loved
Oh,
talking to you today, man. I've got to ask you one more question before we round this off. But thank
yes,
you
brother.
so much. But you mentioned earlier about the marks in your leg that you're going to send over.
Yes,
What do you think they are? Because I have to know, because I'll kick myself if I don't ask you.
I've only noticed them in the last. Well, actually, I last noticed them probably 6 months ago.
Okay. What, are they
And
like a scar or is it like
no, it's how like with a lot of ET contactees, they get like the 3 dot triangle or
Yes.
something like that. These two dots are so basically two, give me your fingers, two side by side like that, and there's
Hmm.
another two like that on my leg.
Oh.
Um, it just, I don't know, I've just only noticed in the last 6 months.
Hmm.
Um, and it's all post ET shenanigans.
Interesting.
Well, post noticeable ET shenanigans.
Hmm.
Because yeah, that sort of thing just died down. Things still go bump in the night. But I think even the wife is, we're just that used to it. We just don't even notice anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just another day.
Yeah. When the paranormal becomes normal. Yeah.
It is normal.
It is normal.
It is normal.
Yeah.
It's the real world we live in.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, just like that awesome saying that I say quite a bit, which I can't remember where I got it from. The eyes are useless if the mind is blind.
Yeah. That is a good one, man.
It's just yeah,
I'm going to
it's
take
really,
that.
really yeah, yeah. Go point $20.
I'll tell you, I'll send it over. So are they like red dots? Are they like red marks, these markings, or are they
Like a reddy brown color.
okay? And they've just you've never had them before, they've just turned up.
I'm 42 next month, and I've only noticed them 6 months ago.
Wow.
So it's
So
yeah,
possibly you were saying like these things maybe they're like researching us and it could be like a kind of
I hope so.
oh wow.
I hope so. I mean, it's mate, I'm my again. There's still no wall on the side of the house.
Yeah.
Just come on in, all positive entities and beings, and
Yeah. Because markings like that you
yeah,
you hear a lot with like abduction and things. Do you think that's possibly happening?
I couldn't say on a physical sense.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm pretty sure on an astral sense. I reckon something's happened because I've had some dreams that were clearly not dreams.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I remember there was one, and a lot of me like they've been testing me and seeing what my reaction is going to be. And I remember there was one where, and as you know, like these kind of dreams are like as real as this conversation right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm in that state, that astral state, and there was an old TV which still had the knob was down the side, and the screen was all static. And I was sitting there. I was sitting there. Obviously I was in my astral state, but in this vision, I was sitting there in front of this TV, and I was scared shitless. I was really scared because I knew that something was in the static, and I couldn't see anything. It was just static. And it got to the point where nut, I'm bigger and stronger than this, and I went down closer to the screen, and I'm like, "Come on, do it!" Like egging them on for a fight, basically. And that energy, that presence in that static got super immense and strong. And this face appeared, and when I was like, when I realized like I'm ready to fight, let's go. It then zipped out, and the screen went blank. And you wake up sweating. You wake up with you just like you know that wasn't just a dream.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was as real as that night when something yanks your arm out of bed and you get pulled half out of bed. It was as real as that.
Yeah.
Um, Others where like because like my daughter said plenty of times as well, like she like even to this day she's like, oh, I had another one of those dreams last night where I was floating above my body, and I flew down the stairs and I went out in the front yard, and I was across the road in the park, and I'm like, yeah, you had another astral travel. Oh yeah, that's right. so, um, so yeah, I think we do have this open connection to what's going on. Um, Even actually, what something I haven't told the outside world is she because my daughter is very connected, even with a spiritual sense, with what chakras and pathways are open. She's got no doorway on top of her head, just straight open. And she talks a fair bit in her sleep. And a few months ago, she started talking in her sleep. And next thing you know, she starts yelling, "No, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go over there." And I'm like, "Oh, hang on." And it got louder and louder, and she's like getting more aggressive with it. And I'm like, "Hang on." So I jumped out of bed, went into her room, and she's sitting up in bed, eyes closed, but like staring and looking in a certain direction. And I don't want to go over there. I'm like, so I'm at this stage. I'm thinking, it's still a bit of a dream because she talks all the time in her sleep. And then I realized it wasn't a dream. She's actually having some kind of contact within that astral realm, that astral state. Um, and when I realized that, she answered me aggressively when I'm saying, "Baby, it's all right, calm down, you're asleep." And she goes, "I'm not asleep. I don't want to go over there." And obviously, I can't see what was going on because I'm in this 3D realm, and I'm like, "Oh shit, she's actually in some kind of state." So then I've put my fingers on her back. I was pulsing my fingers on her back. And they basically had to say, "Baby, it's okay. Feel my fingers. My daddy's here. My hand is on your back. Feel my fingers pulse on your back. Focus on that pulse. Come back to that pulse." And just basically talking her back through it. It took about 20 minutes for her to calm down and come out of that state. And then basically after that, I went back to bed and no, I need to meditate. So I got back up, went into meditation, and basically spoke to my spirit guides and said, "Can you go help her spirit guides beat the absolute crap out of whoever is trying to do whatever they're trying to do?"
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a bit of a shocking moment when I realized that wasn't a dream because again, she answered me consciously that she's not in the dream. She's stuck somewhere and
Hmm.
um, doesn't want to go over there to whoever was dragging her or taking her somewhere.
Man.
Um, And then, I mean, because I've had and another situation was where in one of my astral states, there was a grey leaning against the wall, and I was with my daughter, so we had this connection in this astral state, and this grey had his hand outstretched toward my daughter, like wanting her to take his hand, and I just got that gut feeling, no, 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 that's not a positive interaction. I grabbed her hand and said, "No, no, you come here," said, "Mate, you piss off, you don't touch her." And he sort of went, "Oh, yeah, okay, righto." And then we carried on. He got up and walked off. Um,
Man.
so people can take from that what they will. For me personally, I know the actual experiences.
Hmm.
So yeah, have of that what you will.
Man, I mean, there's definitely dreams that, as you say, are more than dreams. I've
Yeah,
had it myself where you wake up and you know what a nightmare is. A nightmares are not nice
yeah,
normally, but
mm,
that sometimes you'll have a dream that is more than a nightmare. Like you
mm,
felt it, you were living it. It was as real as this right now. I've had dreams like that, man, where you wake up and it really affects you. And you're like, was
mm,
that like you can't even believe it was a dream. Like it's wild.
yeah,
And there's
yeah,
definitely more to dreams than I used to give credit for as well, to be honest. I used to think dreams were just dreams and people put too much into dreams. That was my own opinion, but that's changed completely now. And I think there's a lot
yeah,
more going on with dreams and, you know, what it is, I don't know, but I mean, that sounds quite scary that these things can attack us in our dreams. But with abductions, you hear it so often. I talk to many people
mm,
that have experienced abductions. There is a connection to the dream state and abductions as well. So, yeah, man,
yeah.
it's very
Well, yeah,
interesting.
with Sacramento, with the sleep paralysis.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
that's 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 an astral dream state
yeah.
basically.
I used to get
And then
terrible
yeah,
sleep paralysis where I was being
yeah,
attacked. Something was
yeah,
attacking me.
yeah, yeah. Mate. It's
Brother,
it's it's I love it. I love it
it's
all
it's super
that.
interesting. It's a wild world we live in, but
Oh,
it'd be
yes.
boring not to believe in any of this stuff. There's people out
Oh,
there that don't believe in this
yeah.
stuff. How boring.
Exactly. Like they get up, they go to work, they go
Yeah,
have a beer, and then they go home, they have dinner and go to bed.
yeah. There's a lot
Oh,
more.
yeah,
There's a lot more out there.
yay. Okay, well,
Yeah,
you go do that while I go to work and then come home and then go out and walk through the forest
yeah,
and then have tree knocks and something huge run past me and then
yeah,
something
man.
whistles at me from over there. I'll
Yeah.
keep doing that. You keep doing that. So,
Yeah, 100%, man. And it all seems to be connected. All this paranormal, the cryptids, the UFOs, entities, they seem to be connected somehow because they're very similar, the
Yeah,
experiences, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
What it is, we don't know, but we're having fun trying to work it out, that's for sure.
Yeah, mate. I mean, I won't. I've got no chance of stopping, mate. Like I haven't been out for a couple of weeks. Like boots on the ground,
Hmm.
purely just because of work and other stuff going on. But getting that, that itch to, to
Yeah.
get back out there and see what I can find, and uh, check out a couple other locations that I haven't been to for a while, and get things kicked off. And we're actually trying to get our place ready for sale. And we still want to stay up here as best as possible, but which we're trying to within our budget buy a place that's deeper in the forest.
Oh, wow.
Um, and luckily, my wife's on board with it. She's really come around the last. Well, I guess she can't come around. She's got no bloody choice. It's
Yeah.
it's she understands that we have to buy a place that is in the forest because I'd love to create some kind of Yowie sanctuary or whatever you want to call it, where they can come onto a property and have, we can create a point of contact with a family troop or something like that,
Hmm.
and ongoing interactions throughout the years. Luckily, she hasn't had any sightings or nothing like that. I mean, she's heard the big heavy footsteps off the back of our property down the back. We'd be sitting out there having a cup of tea at like 9:30 at night on the back patio, watching the stars. Daughter's in bed, dogs are asleep, and you hear the big heavy footsteps come up to this particular tree. You hear them snapping branches and that. I'm just wearing boxer shorts or undies. I launch off the patio, sprint down the backyard, get down there in the darkness. I'm like, hello, hello, like say something, and they just go dead quiet. And then you walk back up to the house, and about 2 minutes later, they kick off doing what they're doing again. So unfortunately, the wife hasn't had much more than the the um, the sounds of heavy footsteps, and actually, no, she's had weird UFO experiences.
Hmm.
Obviously, the ET. She's had a couple of UFO experiences where she's like seen a shooting star. She's been on the back patio at night. She's seen a shooting star come down. Oh, that shooting star is going to land in the army base. And then when she says that, it stops and shoots straight back up. Uh,
Whoa.
she's had that. We've both seen green orbs flying through the forest down the back. Um, we've had green flashes where the Yowie come up to this big gum tree down the back there. That particular spot, we had green flashes of light at that tree. So I don't know what you want to take from that, portals, energy, whatever.
Hmm.
But green flashes of light under the same tree where the Yowies come up to. But anyway, your point being, hopefully try and buy a property a little bit deeper in the bush, on this same mountain ridge line. We are where we are now, like it's still forest down the back and that kind of, but we are kind of on the very top, so we're kind of exposed,
Hmm.
which is great for stars and whatnot. And we still have a lot of space and that kind of thing. But yeah, something deep where we can, hook up a barbecue and big fellas can come around and we can have a chat.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds awesome, man.
That's
Awesome
the
stuff,
plan.
brother.
Yeah.
Can you tell the listeners where they can find your YouTube channel, you, if they want to reach out to you? Can you tell the
Yeah,
listeners
cool.
the best place to go?
Too easy. So YouTube channel is the Finderer. So Finder, so another ER on the end of Finder. So the Finder is my nickname throughout the Yowie community because I find shit. I'm good at finding shit. Footprints, scat, which is, for those that don't know, scat is poo. I found Yowie poo a while ago, which got tested and come back as unclassified species.
Wow.
Um, in a very high activity area. So I find that structures. I just have an eye for stuff. People go into areas and they won't find nothing. I'll go in the next day with them and how'd you not see that? Like, and yeah, so anyway, my nickname is the Finder. So jump on YouTube, look up the Finder. It's so the Finder slash or hyphen search for contact.
Hmm.
But if you look up just the Finderer with the extra ER, you'll see a big picture of a big fella. That's my YouTube channel. It is only fresh. It's taking a while to get it going. I'm not going for the upload every week like a lot of people do. I'm trying to just give good quality content,
Hmm.
not just flood the market. And I am trying to also do a different take on interviews. So a lot of the Yowie interviews like this, like a podcast, or like say they'll do an animated recreation of the situation. I'm trying to do it different as in a way that I want to take you the experience back to the actual location. So even if you and I have to hike
Hmm.
5 kilometers, if you are willing to do that, I want to hike those 5 kilometers with you back to the actual location, and we do the interview there.
Oh, wow.
Um,
That's a good idea,
y-
man.
yeah, so this is basically because in that way, if you get so the viewer or the listener can actually see the actual location. So when you talk about this massive monster stepped out from behind this tree and jumped over this boulder, the viewer is actually seeing the actual tree and the actual boulder that this situation happened at. So I'm trying to chase that route at the moment. I was recently in Bali. I look at that 1010 on the TV, angel numbers.
Yes.
Uh, I was recently in Bali for family holiday, and I actually spoke to the Balinese people, which is on my YouTube channel, because they have the orang deck in Bali.
Yes.
So I went bugger it, asked my driver, so, hey, you know about the orang deck? And then that's my YouTube channel. Unfortunately,
Wow.
I missed about 10, 15 minutes of it because when I started recording, we're talking and talking and whatnot, and then I looked at my phone, storage full.
Oh,
Oh,
no. Oh.
so I'm like, delete, 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 delete. Um,
Start again.
yeah, so we tried to, but I mean, we'd already missed a bunch of stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I was quite happy to take advantage of talking to a Balinese driver about their
Wow,
opinion
man.
their opinion on the Rampant deck, which is um one driver which I didn't get on camera. He's very much like, yes, yes, oh yeah, go up the northwest, and they live up in the mountains in the forest up there, and all the farmers see them all the time. And he spoke about like, yep, today's Tuesday, today's Wednesday. It wasn't like, oh, why do you want to know? He's just, yep, yep,
Yeah.
no worries. And then Pandi, if you're watching this Pandi, which you probably will, um, when I interviewed Pandi, Pandi spoke on more of the spiritual sense,
Hmm.
and also spoke about Balinese New Year, what Balinese New Year is about, how they shut down like all Wi-Fi and electricity for 24 hours. It's basically about negative energies and spirits that come over top of the villages. If you have an electronic device which obviously emits a frequency, that's going to attract the negative entities to come into your house and put curses on you and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So they actually shut off all the Wi-Fi and the power, or not so much the power, but all the Wi-Fi for the most part. So those entities will pass over your house and go to the next house. So he speaks about all that kind of stuff. So that's on my channel.
Interesting, man.
Um, and you also find the Facebook page of the same name, the Finderer. Search for contact. Otherwise, look me up on Facebook, Gary Lynn. You'll see me doing a big thumbs up with a Balinese statue, and the Finderer wallpaper is my wallpaper. Um,
Awesome.
any questions, give me a yell, contact me. I'm very open to talk about stuff.
Hmm.
Um, hit me up.
Awesome.
All good.
Awesome stuff, brother. Well, your links will be in the show description so people can find you right now. That sounds very interesting, the YouTube channel, man. I'm on that, brother. Thank you so much for your time tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
I
And
appreciate you, my friend.
hopefully the first of many conversations.
Oh, I'm happy to go again, mate. I can talk about this forever.
Awesome. Thank you very much, brother. Let's do it again. Have a good night tonight. Guys, I hope
Likewise.
you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, share it where you can. That is a great way to support the show. It gets us out there to more people that enjoy the freaky conversations. We'll be back very soon for more. In the meantime, stay safe and keep it freaky. Bye for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.